Good afternoon, everyone. This is Rooftop Sports, and I just want to say happy Super Bowl day, everyone. It's going to be Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. But until then, I still got a Sonics basketball game to play. I was not there yesterday because I had just came home from a Special Olympics regionals tournament where, although we did get second place, it just wasn't enough to punch the ticket to go to state. As I was, believe it or not, I was actually the interim head coach, and I actually had coached the game without my starting point guard, and eventually my one of my best defensive players left in a second half of a critical game just to force a game 3. Although our I was able to coach the team to just single digit losses, of course, it just wasn't enough to get us there to state tournament. So now I'm just moving on, getting ready for softball season and continuing this 2K lifestyle. Now let's go back to 1999. All right, here we are. And it's going to be the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Seattle SuperSonics. I want to check out what the power rankings are. And right now, the Sonics are still the second worst team in the NBA, behind, just ahead of the Charlotte Bobcats by that significant amount of margin. And it's going to be the Seattle SuperSonics against the Los Angeles Lakers. Here we go. Jamie Watson versus Gary Payton, Ruben Patterson, the self-proclaimed Kobe stopper going up against Kobe Bryant, Glenn Rice, and Rashard Lewis, Travis Knight at power forward, and Jerome James against Shaquille O'Neal. They'll be backed up with Del Curry, Robert Horry, Jim McIlvaine, and Derek Harper. And here we are. We are in the Great Western Forum in Los Angeles. And the Sonics have control of the ball, and we are underway here in the Great Western Forum. And turnover already caused by Shaquille O'Neal. Now here's Gary Payton, and he misses it. Good defense by Dennis Rodman as he was trying to get that block. Here's Ruben Patterson, gives it to Watson. He goes for the jumper. He misses, and rebound Shaq. Here comes Gary Payton, who the Sonics did trade him away. And now here's Kobe Bryant for 3. And here's Shaq with the putback slam. Someone that Jerome James really has to watch out for. It's having an MVP caliber season. The Lakers are already playing very tough. Here's Rodman. He's fouled, and he gets it. And one, and he is going to go to the line. Maybe they'll have to give him some touches against Travis Knight, who Dennis Rodman believes he can go up against. Here's Glenn Rice, and he is fouled, and he's going to go to the line. And he makes the free throw. He makes another free throw. Here's Jamie Watson. He is bringing it up. Now here is Ruben Patterson. There's Watson for 3. And Rodman with the rebound. Or not, Rodman misses the rebound. Here's Kobe Bryant. And here's Gary Payton. And he's able to make it a 6-2 lead. And the Lakers have been one of the better teams in the NBA with some help by Gary Payton. And out of bounds, it's going to be Lakers ball. Already a struggling start for the Seattle SuperSonics going up against their former teammate, Gary Payton, who the Sonics traded away to the Lakers for 2 future first-round picks. Here's Payton for 3, and Rodman with the rebound. Now here's Watson, gets it to Lewis. Sonics are trying to look for a score, but Lakers defense is suffocating them. Here's Jerome James. He's going to try to post up. He can't. No one can get open. Here's Lewis for 3. Rashard Lewis brings it within. But yeah, they traded him for 2 first-round picks plus Tyronn Lue. It was Tyronn Lue and Ruben Patterson, the self-proclaimed Kobe stopper. Ruben Patterson's been on Kobe. Kobe has yet to score. He's gonna try to score, and he goes for the three. He misses it. And now here comes Jamie Watson. He's gonna do it. Now here's a transition. Now here's Patterson with the dunk. And he's already outscoring Kobe Bryant. The Milk PD Master who milks my YouTube channel. Yes, I'm going to be there for the Super Bowl. Of course I am. Now here's Shaq and the foul. And he is going to go to the line. And here's Shaq. He makes the free throw. Now here's Jamie Watson to Ruben Patterson for three. And misses. And Shaq with the rebound. Jerome James struggling to contain him. Now here's Kobe Bryant for three. Kobe Bryant from downtown. Missed assignment by Ruben Patterson. Now here's Jerome James going to try to go up against Shaq. He loses the ball. And now here's Kobe Bryant. He's going to try to go in all the way. And he goes with the acrobatic move. He's rebounded by Ruben Patterson. And now here's Rashard Lewis. Goes for the easy jumper. He makes it. Rashard Lewis with the jumper. Is now 12-9. Now we got Ruben Patterson. Now here's Gary Payton for three. And Rodman with another rebound. Here comes Rashard Lewis. And he's going to try. No, he's kind of stopped. Here's Patterson. Now here's Jamie Watson. He can't really drive. Here's Patterson for three. Rodman with the rebound. He goes up on Knight. He misses. And now here's Glenn Rice. And he gets in there. Rashard lost the 2009 NBA Finals against Los Angeles. Yeah, don't tell him that. And now it's going to be a steal by Glenn Rice. The Lakers are just absolutely suffocating. Now here is Payton with the shot. Payton with the nice floater, and they just extended that lead. Someone's got to set some screens, and now here's Dennis Rodman. He gets it. Nice pick and roll. Set up by Jamie Watson, and that's going to be a timeout, LA. Now here's Gary Payton for three. Payton from downtown. Now here's Watson. Goes up on Jerome James. Gets open. And with the dunk. Here's Gary Payton. He's being guarded by Watson. Ruben Patterson's on Kobe Bryant. Now here's Kobe. And now I think they're going to try to double team Kobe Bryant. And he gets, and a huge dunk by Kobe Bryant on Rashard Lewis. Now here's Watson. He saves that. Now here's Jerome James. Nice pass and the dunk and the foul. Let's look at that again. It was Watson with a nice behind the back. He was being guarded by Shaq, and that gave James an opening. And the foul. And James now has 5 points. Jerome James trying to be just as good as Shaquille O'Neal, if not better. And now here's Kobe Bryant, and he is always going to make those. Always watch out. Now here's Jamie Watson. Lewis being guarded by Del Curry. Here's Lewis for three. No. And that's going to be rebounded by Rooks. It's like they brought their entire bench unit out. Now here's Del Curry, and he gets run over by Ruben Patterson. Already 2 fouls. Patterson's been playing very aggressive. Patterson with 2 points. Oh, Kobe's not even in here. He just got pulled out. Now here's Harper. Now here's Rooks, and he's able to make the hook shot. Now here's Jamie Watson, and here's Jerome James wide open with the slam. Jerome James with 7 points. He's been easily one of the best players on the Sonics. He's being guarded by Rooks, and now here's Derek Harper for 3. And who's getting that rebound? And Rashard Lewis gets it. Now here's Rodman. And out of bounds. It's going to be Sonics basketball. And a steal by Robert Horry. Sonics are struggling to keep up. And now here is Curry with the layup. Lakers are trying to be that team to beat. Now here's Watson. Here's Lewis with a jumper. Rooks with the rebound. There's Derek Harper. He goes for the jumper and misses. There's Curry. Now here's Rooks. And he goes out of bounds. Solid defense by Rashard Lewis. Now here's Jamie Watson. He's going to try to... No, he misses it. No, he can't get through. And now here's Jerome James. He tries to get it in, and he misses. And now we got... a nice stop by Rashard Lewis. And now they're going to go to the line. They're going to put in Sean Respert and Shammond Williams. They're going to try to do something. And McCoy's going to get in there. Free throw's been made. Now here's Respert for 3. And he misses. Sean Respert has been picking it up in the last few days. And a steal by Rodman, and he's been all over the place with the boards. And now here's Williams. Oh, no, he just threw it away. Stolen by Harper. And now he's going to try to drive in, and blocked by Rodman. Nice defensive play. Now here's Williams for 3. No! And only 10 seconds left. Here's Del Curry. He's trying to get it in. And now here's Harper. It's always being heavily defended. Tries to put it up. And that's going to be it. That is going to do it for the quarter. Kobe Bryant is the leading scorer with 7 points, along with Gary Payton. Shaq is at 5 and 4. Rodman 4 and 3. Watson has 6 assists, but he has 3 turnovers. James leading the way with 7 points. He has been one of the dominant forces in the NBA over the past month. Right. Now we've got the whole bench going up against Gary Payton. Respert's going to be, well, whoever with Del Curry. And Curry's going to try to get it in there. Here's Payton. Here's Curry with a jumper. And rebound Bennett. And now here's Joe Stevens. He's being guarded by Gary Payton. And Gary Payton just lost him. And Stevens for 3. Joe Stevens has been one of the best scorers off the bench, along with Shammond Williams. And fouled by McCoy. Now here's Shaq. And out of bounds, Sonics basketball. Next 3 games until the halftime, until the All-Star break, we got Sacramento, Portland, and New York. Now here comes Williams. And Shaq almost gets the steal. He's being heavily guarded. Stevens for 3. And he makes it again. Joe Stevens is now bringing the Sonics back into the game. Here's Gary Payton being heavily guarded, double teamed. There's Scott Burrell, the former Chicago Bull champion from last season. Here's Shaq going for a jumper, and he makes it. Now here's Shammond Williams to Stevens. He's on fire, and he makes it again. Joe Stevens with 8 points. He is 3 for 3 and 2 3-pointers. Williams is trying to keep up with Gary Payton. Travis Knight, nobody guard him. Now we got Scott Burrell. Now here's Gary Payton going with the floater. He makes it. Gary Payton is entering into his 30s. Now Stevens for 3. Nice pass. I think that was a nice pass by Bennett. Let's look at the replay. And that was Bennett with a nice pass. Now here's Shaquille O'Neal to Gary Payton. Being guarded. Now here's Shaq trying to go up against Jelani McCoy, and he makes it. And I think soon you're going to have to put in Jerome James. Got 9 points. Shammond Williams being guarded. Goes up on Gary Payton. No! In and out. And now here is Gary Payton. He has an opportunity, and he's able to get it in. Joe Stevens with a good effort, but it wasn't enough to stop Gary Payton. Now here's Westbrook going with a jumper. He makes it. And now timeout has been called by the Lakers. I think they're going to put in Jerome James. Watson's going to get back on. Now here's Bryant for 3. James with the rebound. James now has 2 rebounds. Stevens for 3. He still cannot miss. Joe Stevens from downtown. Stevens now has 11 points. And now we got Gary Payton being heavily guarded. Now here's Kobe Bryant. Now here's Shaq. Oh, he gets away from Jerome James. That is just textbook Shaquille O'Neal. James is having a really hard time stopping him. And now stolen by Kobe Bryant. Now here's Gary Payton going all the way. Blocked by Stevens. And now here's Bryant. And he goes for the fadeaway. Doesn't get it. Stevens with the rebound. Now here's James. Oh, Watson was thinking about it. James being guarded by Shaq. He's fouled, and he will go to the line. Good of him to draw the foul, and he'll get 2 shots at the line as he misses the first one. And he'll make at least the second free throw. I think Joe Stevens is getting a little bit tired. Here's Bryant for 3. Here's Shaq with the rebound, and Watson with the steal. And now here is Watson, and he gets in for the dunk. That was excellent defense by the Sonics. It was Bryant for 3. Shaq had it, and then Watson stripped it away and to get the dunk for himself. Now here's James guarding Shaq. And he's able to make it again. Shaq is just absolutely suffocating Jerome James. Now here's James. Might have the opening. Goes for a jumper. No! He misses. Thought he had the shot. Now here's Glenn Rice. And he's able to make it. And timeout's going to be called by the Sonics. Now here is Watson. Now here is Jerome James. Doesn't really have any open lanes. Who's going to help him? There's Watson back to Lewis for 3. And he makes it to close it to within 3 points. Rashard Lewis from three-pointer does very well. He's having a very fantastic rookie season. And now Kobe Bryant's wide open. Lost assignment by Ruben Patterson, the so-called self-proclaimed Kobe stopper. Here's Lewis over to Jerome James. Now here's Patterson for 3. No! And no one was going for that rebound. Now here's Bryant being guarded by Patterson. And here's Gary Payton. And he's able to make it. And that just 2 quick points by the Lakers. Here's Rodman being guarded by Kobe. Oh, and he just knocked down Dennis Rodman. Now here is Watson over to Jerome James. Now here's Shaq for Payton. And he's able to get that in. He dunks it. Now here's Jamie Watson. Lewis for 3. And Shaq with the rebound. Less than 2 minutes left. Now here's Kobe Bryant. Now here's Gary Payton. Tries to get it to Rodman. And he found himself open. He really did use his body on Robert Horry. Now here's Gary Payton. Ruben Patterson's going to try guard Kobe Bryant. He kind of loses him. And Watson's trying to help him. And he goes for the fadeaway. And that's what Watson does. He was at least able to contain Kobe Bryant. Watson kind of had the face of like, really? And now it's going to be a steal by Gary Payton. And that's going to be a foul by Rashard Lewis. He will go to the line. And Greg Foster is going to be checking in for the last 38 seconds. Now here's Watson. Oh, and he zips right through. Oh, the dunk. Watson with 4 points. All those points have been accumulated by dunk. Here's Jim McIlvain to Horry. Now here's Gary Payton. Nice pass to Derek Harper for 3. What a pass by Gary Payton. And now here's Watson. I think they should just hold it to the last shot. Now here's Rashard Lewis. Has a good look for 3. No. And it's only 7 seconds left. And now here's Jacobson. And now here's Gary Payton. He makes it. They should have held to the last shot. And I wonder who they're going to give it to. We're going to get it to Ruben Patterson. Goes for the 3. More like a 2, but he is not going to make it. And that is going to end the halftime. Go to the stats. Gary Payton leading the way with 19 points. He is absolutely smoking Jamie Watson. Kobe Bryant is 4 of 11. So actually, Ruben Patterson's actually somewhat contained him. But a lot of help by Jamie Watson. Shaq is at 15 and 7. Joe Stevens at 14 points. He's 5 for 5. Jerome James is at 10 points, 4 of 6. And this is where we are at. Start of the third quarter. I think they're going to try to get Williams. I think they're actually going to go with the starters. But they are down by 12. Now here's Kobe being guarded by Patterson. Now here's Gary Payton for 3. Shaq with the rebound. Oh, the huge, ferocious dunk by Shaquille O'Neal. Now here's Jamie Watson. Patterson for 3. And he cannot make a dang thing. And Gary Payton gets it to Kobe Bryant. And where was Ruben Patterson? Totally missed his assignment. Now here's Jamie Watson. Here's out of bounds, but it is still Sonics basketball, and they're bringing Jerome James back. But the problem is no one can stop Shaq. Here's Watson being guarded by Payton. Lewis being he's on the pressure. Now here's Rodman going up on Travis. Now he is fouled, and he will go to the line. And I think they're going to try something different. I think they're going to try to put Joe Stevens to be the scorer. And it's too late. He's not going to make it. Here's Rodman. Again, he misses both free throws. Here's Kobe Bryant. Nice pass to Gary Payton. And talk about an OP team. Now here's Watson. Gets around Travis Knight. He is blocked by Gary Payton. Out of bounds. Jerome James tried to get that save, but it still is Sonics basketball. Now here's James. Oh! Nice heads-up pass by Dennis Rodman. James now has 12 points. They brought in Joe Stevens to see if he can still score. Been really tough to guard. They're going to try a double on Kobe Bryant. Nice pass by Kobe. Here's Gary Payton. Here's Glenn Rice for 3. Rodman with another rebound. Now here's Rashard Lewis. Got to slow it down. And stolen by Glenn Rice. Now here's Kobe. He's been heavily contested. And now he will go to the line. And free throw's been made. Now here's Watson. Here is Lewis. Bryant for 3. And Travis Knight is able to secure the rebound. And stolen by Shaq. And he stuffs it on Jerome James. And now the Sonics are absolutely trailing. Here's Stevens for 3. And that's going to shut it down. Stevens now has 17 points. 5 of 5 from downtown, and timeout is called. They really want to slow them down. But who's really up to the task to stop Shaquille O'Neal? He cannot be stopped. Now here's Kobe Bryant. And now that's going to be a steal by Shammond Williams. And who's giving some help? And now here's Stevens with the dunk. 19 points. Stevens did sign a 1-year contract. There are questions on whether he is going to come back. And the traveling violation. Let's see if Seattle can make some kind of a miracle comeback. And now here is Shammond Williams. Going to be hard to shoot on Gary Payton. Here's Williams for 3. No! That's going to be in and out. And here comes Kobe Bryant. Shaq is 9 for 9 for 19 points. Here's Gary Payton. Rebound Knight. And that's going to be a foul. Rashard Lewis is now on 3 fouls. Makes the free throw. Sonics are going to try to sacrifice some defense. And now here's Jerome James. Williams for 3. And, a huge putback slam by Joe Stevens. Unbelievable. And where's my pen? I need a pen. Nope, I don't have a pen. It's a huge putback slam. Now here's Shaq. And he is fouled, and he's going to go to the line. That will help a little bit. I am back. Here's Shaq. And he goes for the free throw. He misses. And now Stevens gets that rebound. Now here's Sean Resprit. Goes for 3. And now they have closed it to within a 13-point game. Now here's Shaq. Here's Gary Payton. A nice pass. Now here's Glenn Rice. That was a beautiful pass by Gary Payton. Now here's Shammond Williams. He looks for Dennis Rodman. That's going to be out of bounds. Now here's James. Gets it to Rodman. He's going to try to post up on Knight. And he just can't make it. Now here's Kobe Bryant. And there's Gary Payton with the easy one. It is now a 17-point game. And now there's Shammond Williams. Oh, with the dunk! 75-60. They're trying to do everything they can to make a huge comeback. Now here's Kobe. Here's Rooks. And James with the rebound. Now here's Joe Stevens. And here's Resprit for 3. Resprit from downtown. And he brings it to within 12. Resprit has been keeping the Sonics in the game. And here's double team effort. Here's Travis Knight. Oh, he avoids Jerome James and makes the basket. James has been struggling absolutely on defensively. Here's James, and it's going to be lost. Now here's Kobe Bryant. Here's Payton with the floater, and Bryant with the putback slam. Now here's Williams. James gets it to Williams for 3. And Bryant with the rebound. And now here's Gary Payton. Nice pass to Knight. Now it's 81-63. Now here's Sean Resprit. And he misses it. Now here's Kobe Bryant. And Payton with a jumper. Rodman with the rebound. And he nearly lost it. Here's Williams, and now here's Stevens for 3. He makes it. He has yet to miss from downtown. He is 9 for 9 on 6 3-pointers. Keep him in. Out of bounds, and that is Lakers ball. Now here's Rooks. Now here's Rodman. Now here's Joe Stevens. Oh, nice pass for Resprit. No, he doesn't get it. And he almost got his own rebound too. Here's Rodman. Was up against Glenn Rice, and they're going to go to the line. It is now 81-66. He makes the free throw. A huge pass. Oh, and Stevens loses it. Derek Harper is being double teamed. Now here's Curry. Here's Bryant for three. And Knight is blocked by McCoy. Rebound Bennett. Now here's Williams with a nice little crossover. And there's Stevens for three. Oh! He still makes it from downtown. He has yet to miss. Now here's Derek Harper over to Shaq. And blocked. Oh, I think that was blocked. Let's see if that was actually blocked. Shaq was going up. Oh my goodness, it was blocked by McCoy. Now here's Williams with the shot. Oh, that was going to be the momentum changer. But McCoy was able to get a huge block on Shaquille O'Neal. He blocked Shaq. And Shaq even gave the face of acknowledgement. They're going to keep some of the players on the bench. Here's Patterson for three. Nope. Patterson's absolutely struggled. Now here's Kobe Bryant. Now here's Del Curry. And fouled by Watson. They want to keep Stevens a little bit more fresh. Free throw's been made. They want to try maybe get McCoy some more touches. And out of bounds. Oh, and a steal. Now here's Jamie Watson. He throws it down. He has now 6 points and 10 assists, but he has 5 turnovers. There's Derek Harper. He is blocked by Lewis. Rebound Bennett. Now here is Rashard Lewis. No, and he was trying to go for the three, and he does it this time. And Bennett with another rebound. And now here's McCoy. And he makes it. He was waiting for that. Jelani McCoy has been showing what he can do. And a three-pointer by Derek Harper. Here's Lewis for three. And McIlvain with the rebound. Another former Seattle Supersonic. It's Derek Harper being double teamed. Now it goes to Del Curry, and Lewis is now on his 4th foul. He's got to be very careful. Now here's Glenn Rice. Shaq is back on. And now, oh, nice pass to Gary Payton. Sonics are trying to crawl their way back. They're like, get it to Stevens at this point. Now here's Williams for 3. No, not again. And he misses. How is Williams scoring today? Shammond Williams is now 1 for 8, 0 for 7 from downtown. Now here's Gary Payton with a nice spin move, being held by Joe Stevens. Goes for the fadeaway. He misses. Nice defense by Joe Stevens. Now here's Lewis. And now Stevens for 3. 14-point deficit. He has now 30 points, 8 for 8 from downtown. He is still perfect. Now here's Kobe. Over to Gary Payton. Payton is being heavily guarded. And now here's Gary Payton to Glenn Rice for 3. No! And Shaq with it. No! And now they're going to call that timeout. They want to get Rodman and James back on the court. Dennis Rodman and Jerome James are to be back on the court. Here's James. Now here's Watson. And now here's Stevens for 3 again. No, he misses this time. Shaq with the rebound. Here comes Gary Payton. He's going to try going all the way. And Kobe with the loose ball foul. It is 92-76. Sonics are still trying. Now here is Lewis for 3. Lewis now has closed it to within a 13-point game. Now here's Glenn Rice. Back to Gary Payton. And now here's Kobe Bryant for 3. No! Lewis with the rebound. And now here's Stevens for 3. Stevens now has 33 points. And timeout has been called by the Lakers. It is now 92-82. Now here's Gary Payton. Here's Bryant with the jumper. He is not making anything. And now here comes Jamie Watson. It's going to be a 3-on-2. And now here is Rodman. He is fouled, and he is going to go to the line. He has brought it to within single digits, but he just cannot make the free throw. It is now 92-84. And now it's a steal by Stevens. And now here's Watson, and he gets it in. And now it's only a 6-point game. It's now 92-86. Now here's Gary Payton, Glenn Rice, and now here's Travis Knight, but he is able to get that in there. Now here's Watson. Oh, and James seems to be open. No, he misses. He was heavily guarded at the last second. He looked like he had it. Now here's Gary Payton being guarded by Watson. Now here's Shaq. Now here's Kobe Bryant. And with the dunk on Dennis Rodman. And now it's back to a 10-point game. Now here's James. Oh, nice spin move. No, he gets his own rebound. Stevens for 3. Lewis gets the rebound. Here's Rodman. Oh, no, he loses it. They're going to try to double team on Gary Payton. I'll need every bit of it. Halliburton, Glazer. And Shaq, he is fouled. Fouled by Jerome James. Gets 2 shots at the line. Misses the free throw. I know, me too. I don't feel that much confidence. And the free throw's been made. Now here's Jamie Watson. He has the hole, and now here is... No, he loses it! Now here's Gary Payton. Goes for the jumper. James with the rebound. There's still an advantage. Now here is Rashard Lewis with the dunk. And out of bounds. The Lakers threw it away. And now let's see if... There's Rodman. He gets through Shaq, and he makes it. James has now 14 points. Less than 2 minutes left in this game. The Sonics have really fought their way back. Now here's Kobe being guarded by Stevens. Gary Payton. And the floater. And now here's Shaq. And no, he makes it again. You just can't stop Shaquille O'Neal. I think they're going to try to put in McCoy. Stevens for 3. Not this time. And I think that may shake the confidence. Being double teamed. And now here's Kobe Bryant. Now here's Kobe. And that's going to be goaltending by Jerome James. That's now just a minute 20 left. Here's Stevens for 3. It is now a single-digit game. And I think they're going to have to do the full court trap. They're going to go the trap. Now here's Kobe Bryant. And he's able to beautifully get that in there. And now the Sonics are really running out of time. Kobe has 21 points. He has turned the ball over 3 times. Now here's Stevens. And now here's Joe Stevens. Goes for the 3 and misses. And this is where this may be it. And a steal. Now here's Joe Stevens. And he gets that dunk. They're trying to do the full court trap. And fouled by Watson. Now they're just holding the ball. Now, nice pass. Now here's Shaq. Goes for the fadeaway. He misses it. And maybe there is a little glimmer of hope. Nope, not this time. And that is going to do it. Seattle SuperSonics will fall on a very nice thriller. Sonics did make a somewhat of a comeback, but it just wasn't to be. Dennis Rodman saying good game to Glenn Rice. But you got to give all the credit. I mean, Shaq, you got to give the credit to him. He deserves a lot of credit for that. And he was just absolutely a dominant force. Shaq just could not be stopped. Gary Payton led the way also with 25 points and 12 assists. Shaq with 24 points, 13 rebounds. Kobe, he struggled from three-pointer. Joe Stevens had 38 points, 10 of 14 from downtown. Rashard Lewis struggled. James, it was hard for him to get any kind of touches. And he turned the ball over 4 times. Watson had 14 assists, but 6 turnovers. Well, I'm going to say that is it. I am taking off. I'll be back in about less than 3 hours for the Super Bowl. Everyone tune in, and you'll see the notifications. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit that notification, and I am out of here.